Welcome in, everybody. This is the MEC Conference Championship for Softball. Championship Saturday. Alex Wiederspiel and Scott Hall with you. And we've got a good one for you today. UC and Glenville. First game, only UC can clinch. But if Glenville wins, it's winner take all 30 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1. And there's plenty of reason to believe that Glenville has the chance to do that today. They had a historic performance yesterday, Scott, that you and I got a chance to witness firsthand, a 14-0 drubbing of one of the best teams in the Mountain East Conference, Fairmont State, and it was an 11-run inning in the fifth that Glenville used to power their way to victory and ultimately run-ruling Fairmont State. Now, of course, that won't be an option today, but with hot bats like that and Addison Mass pitching for the fourth consecutive day, maybe you have a chance to get at her early.
Well, the one thing, at least with Addison Mass, is that she has experience with this. She was Pitcher of the Year last year as well as this year. She was Tournament MVP last year. I mean, just after she had a slow start to it, but then from there just absolutely rolled through everybody. She threw a no-hitter for Charleston to get to this day last season, then went through West Liberty twice. Now this year, she's only had to throw 3 this time. So that's at least, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of a bonus for her. She hasn't had to throw as many. Now, I do remember that she did get a little bit of a scare earlier in the tournament. I do remember, at least when UC finally won that game, the way, just the look on her face when everybody came and gave her a hug was one of, oh, God, I got through it. So, but again, she has experience. But, yeah, yesterday, I mean, historic is, I think, putting it mildly from what we saw out of the Pioneers. They got on Delaney Haller early. We talked about maybe did they pull her just a little bit too soon out there, but Glenville State took absolute advantage of that. In that 1/5 inning, they had 6 hits. They got 5 free passes, and they just kept rolling and wouldn't stop, did not take the foot off the gas pedal. And when you have Delaney Warnick, who has had an unbelievable tournament, cap it off with a grand slam, I mean, for Glenville State, there's not much better than that.
The numbers for Delaney Warnick are bananas, and certainly if Glenville wins this tournament, she is pretty much a lock to be tournament MVP. But you were making the case yesterday that even if Glenville loses, that there has to be at least some conversation about whether or not Delaney Warnick is the MVP of this tournament. The numbers have been outrageous. She has 7 hits in 15 at-bats. She's hit 4 home runs in this tournament and driven in now 14 RBI. And what's even wilder is this has been part of a hot streak that goes back even further. She had a massive performance in the weekend doubleheader against Davis and Elkins right before this tournament, hitting 2 home runs and driving in 5 runs batted in. So it has been the Delaney Warnick show for Glenville State for the last week plus.
Well, really, she's been on fire since the beginning of April. She has 13 home runs so far this year. She only hit 2 before April. So it's been 11 since then. I did a little dive into her home runs from this season, and they've come at crucial times for this team. It's either been to spark a comeback that led them to a win. It's been maybe the first runs of the game that then ended up leading to a big win. There's been other times where the team was already up, but this home run was kind of almost like the nail in the coffin type of thing that maybe took the air out of the other team.
Kind of like the grand slam yesterday.
Exactly. And, one of those things where it's almost like you can just kind of see the other team go, all right, fine, this is over type of deal. And the only home run that she has hit this year that came in a loss was during this tournament, and that was to Fairmont State on the 7th. She hit a 2-run home run in the 6th inning to cut the deficit to 4-2. They still ended up losing 5-2, but still, her bat has come through when this team has really needed it.
We're going to talk more about Addison Mass, I'm sure, after the break, who has pitched quite literally every inning that UC has thrown in this tournament. But one thing that's worth noting about her is that even though she has started slow in a couple of games, she has essentially acted as her own closer. I think you went up and looked at the number. Only one earned run allowed in the final 3 innings of each start so far, or final 3 or 4 innings of each start in this tournament.
Yeah, I looked at, because you had pointed out really, how much has she allowed past the 4th inning, because it seems like there are some times where the 4th inning kind of is maybe that zone where she allows a few runs here and there. But yes, 5th, 6th, and 7th, here in this tournament, she only allowed 1 run in the 7th inning in the win over Frostburg. And just really since April, she really doesn't allow a whole lot. There's one outlier, and that was on May 3rd. She allowed 5 in the 5th inning to Frostburg, but UC was already up 9-0 at that point and ended up winning 13-5.
So Addison Mass going for her 4th win in 4 games, as is UC in the tournament. They're going for their 4th win in as many years. The dominance of Golden Eagles softball has been on display for the last 3 seasons and now 4 seasons. They've done it the hard way twice. And I've jokingly referred to it as the easy way. The hard way meaning they had to go and win 6 games. Can they do it in 4 for 4? We'll find out after this break here on the MEC Sports Network. Championship Saturday is next.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Coaches and spectators, we ask for your cooperation.
Could we have picked a more picturesque day for Championship Saturday? As UC and Glenville State set to get underway, Addison Mass has officially taken the mound for what she hopes will be her final start of this tournament. UC looking to close things out. We mentioned it before the break. 2 years ago they did this, went 4 for 4 in the tournament. And I don't know what the correct way to describe it is. I've been jokingly referring to it as the easy way. It is certainly easier than winning 6 games, but there is nothing easy about being perfect in this tournament.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we have seen some incredible performances from all the teams really throughout this tournament, especially with the fact that it's double elimination all the way through, so it allows for, maybe you had a bad day on that first one, you lose a game 8-0, but then you can come back on Thursday, potentially pick up a win there and stay alive in the tournament. We've seen comebacks. We've seen what feels like just about everything. But you know what? I've been around this game for a long time, and I feel like something new always seems to come up somewhere, and I can't wait for it.
UC looking to continue their dominance with not just their 4th straight, but 4th overall as we're officially underway. First pitch in for a strike, and we'll go over some of the absurd numbers for Addison Mass, who continues to just write her way into the UC record book as next pitch is away for a ball. 28-4 on the season, 32nd start of the year. She's appeared out of the bullpen 3 times, thrown 214 innings. And again, the numbers that are particularly absurd: an opposing batting average of 176, an ERA of 1.5. This one's fouled off. 10 shutouts on the season. She is striking out at essentially a 3-to-1 walk ratio, 265 strikeouts to 85 walks. It's hard to find a flaw in what Addison Mass has done this season and throughout her career at UC.
Well, when you're 2-time conference pitcher of the year, I mean, she's absolutely writing her own legacy to be a massive legend in Golden Eagles history.
And right there, starting off with a big strikeout of Shelby McDaniels. Let's go over the Glenville batting order. So Shelby McDaniels just struck out. Lillian Burns, the DP, comes to the plate. Delaney Warnick, who has been in fuego to say the least, is batting 3rd, playing short today. Emily Nolan cleaning up at catcher. She hit a huge home run yesterday against Fairmont State, or at least we thought it was huge. We didn't know there would be 11 more runs added on by Glenville at that point. Kylie Goodman hitting 5th, Zaylee Seda hitting 6th, Hannah Howe 7th, and Emma McLean and Alexis Harward batting 8th and 9th. We'll go over the UC team in the field momentarily, as this one is fouled again, 0-2. And so far, Addison Mass is indeed dealing. For UC, Mass throwing to her usual catcher, Kaylee Sarah. They're two of the most experienced players on the team, and they've spent a lot of time with this program over the course of this historic run through the Mountain East Conference Championship Tournament. Kayla Moran at first, Emma Smith at second, Taylor Hodson at third, Ella Zucchero at shortstop, and then in the outfield, Bianca Palestina, Aubriana Espinoza, and Maya Hadaway from left to right for UC. Taylor Welch, head coach of Charleston, Sarah Schoon, head coach of Glenville, and two coaches, I might add, the 1 and 2 is fouled off, two coaches, I might add, who have had incredible run through their short time with their programs. You look at, we haven't talked as much about this on the Glenville side, but Sarah Schoon has made this program essentially unrecognizable from what it was before she got there.
They were really struggling when they brought her in, and even her first season wasn't that good. But I've really like to take a look at what this senior class that she has this year. There's only 4 of them right now, but what they have done in their time with Glenville State, and they have seen their wins total increase every single season to now getting to this year with getting over 40 wins.
Another foul ball here. This is a nice at-bat to start for Lillian Burns, who is making Addison Mass work for it after a strong performance in the first at-bat where she struck out McDaniels. The 2-2 now after a couple of foul balls. And gets another. Addison Mass with 2 strikeouts in 2 at-bats.
She's up to 554 in her career.
Now, you mentioned the seniors for Glenville, though, and one, of course, we've got to mention is Kylie Burdick, who is getting the start today for the Pioneers, and she'll be Addison Mass's counterpart on the mound, and obviously is going to have a lot to live up to today. She's had a terrific season as Mass's first pitch to Delaney Warnick misses, and speaking of players you just don't want to get behind in a count right now, this is the player.
Well, but again, you have to be careful. Anything around this zone she has seen, and that one, are they saying?
I thought it hit
nope,
her.
They said off the knob.
Okay.
Because with Warnick's reaction, I figured that one had to have been off the knob. That as we get to take a look at this again, and because anytime it looks like it might have hit the arm, they're dropping the bat and trying to go to first, see if they can help persuade the umpire a little bit. But you've got to be careful around this. Now it hits the arm.
Just in case it didn't happen the first time. So Warnick is issued an HBP, goes to first, and I guess that in some ways is better than letting her actually swing away. But Emily Nolan has been red hot as well, hit a home run yesterday for Glenville State, hitting .359 on the season, and this is her 56th start of the year. For a Glenville team that has, of course, rewritten their own record books as well. We talked about it before we got on the air. UC has a real chance. We think both these teams are headed to the NCAA tournament. UC has a real chance to break their 51-win program record from a few years ago. Glenville's already done that. This is the best season in program history, and they're trying to cap it off the right way, but they got to win 2 today to do it.
Yeah, and with UC, the best that they can get out of this would be getting to win number 46, at least out of today. But then, it's really going to depend on how far you go in the NCAA tournament.
Camping under that one in right field is Hadaway. That'll retire Nolan, so no runs, no hits, no errors, but 1 left on. We head to the bottom of the first. Scoreless here. Championship Saturday between UC and Glenville.
Tomorrow's innovators, teachers, caregivers, researchers, leaders, and creators all have one thing in common. They started out just like you. At West Liberty University, you are the focus. This is a place where you will gain the skills, knowledge, and confidence to change your life and the world around you. It all starts here, with you. Visit westliberty.edu to start your journey. It's all here at West Liberty University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
We'll see Glenville for the first time in the field, and of course that means we'll get a chance for the first time to see Kylie Burdick, who comes in, senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, an 18-6 record in 26 starts, 5 times appearing out of the pen. And her numbers are honestly quite good. 2.22 ERA, 8 shutouts this season, 13 complete games, an opposing batting average of .239. Burdick has pitched really well this season, and she has been used, I would say sparingly, thrown 8 innings in this tournament, but she has had action already in this tournament for the Pioneers.
Yeah, she did get the start against Fairmont State in what was essentially Game 6 out of this tournament. Not exactly her best game, as the Falcons did come through with the 5-2 win, but still not a rough outing.
So let's take a look at UC's lineup as the leadoff hitter Ella Zucchero fouls that one off. Bianca Palestina batting second, Taylor Hodson batting third, Kayla Moran in cleanup, Danny Pesce batting fifth, Emma Smith 6, Kaylee Sarah 7, Aubriano Espinoza 8, and Maya Hadaway batting 9th to round out the order. As the pitch from Burdick on the 1-1 just misses 2-1.
The Pioneers, I mean, kind of going on the flip side of the fact that Charleston has thrown only Addison Mass. They've gone with Burdick, they've gone with Bogus, Stump. I mean, they've got a staff that they are really trying to throw out there. Now, that's not to say that UC doesn't have another pitcher they can go to. They've got Callie Masters, who was freshman of the year, so you've got a heck of a replacement coming in when Addison Mass graduates.
3-1, and issuing a 5-pitch walk to start this one, so Zucchero will take first. In the field for Glenville, Burdick throwing to Emily Nolan behind the plate, Hannah Howe at first, Zaylee Seda at second, Kylie Goodman at third, Delaney Warnick at short, and then in the outfield from left to right, Shelby McDaniels, Emma McLean, and Alexis Harward. Glenville had some trouble against Concord in the field early on, had about as disastrous of a first inning as you could have. Had a player ejected from that game, though that happened after they had taken the lead. But they really worked their way back into it. And I think we saw yesterday against Fairmont, they looked a lot more confident in the field. Exactly,
because that was one that we had talked about was you saying just the errors that Warnick had over at short. And the game that I got to see over on Field 3 that then got the Pioneers to take on Fairmont State with the right to try and come here to Championship Saturday, they looked a whole lot better over there defensively. Delaney Warnick making a diving play in the infield to get the catch and then the throw over to first for the double play, and then just looked a lot more solid and, as you said, a lot more confident as well out there.
UC won over Fairmont. Both these teams beat Fairmont yesterday to get here. UC won in the winner's bracket game 9-4, and then Glenville, as you noted, beat Frostburg on the other field in the loser's bracket game to eliminate Frostburg, and then eliminated Fairmont. They have been the angel of death for FSU teams in this tournament.
Well, it's an incredible lineup that Coach Schoon has put together. I mean, not just what they can do defensively that we did get to see yesterday as well as in the circle, but absolutely what they can do at the plate. Damage can come in bunches for this group.
Palestina at the plate is 4 for 12 in this tournament, and this one hit towards Seda at second. Flips this over and got the first, not the second. Boy, that was close.
It was. Warnick, I think she might have hesitated just a little bit before she headed over towards second base. You've got to get there a little bit quicker, but maybe also just trying to read it off of Seda. Maybe she's thinking, is she not quite ready to throw this yet? So we take a look at it. So a little bit of a hesitation step as she's getting over towards the bag, probably wanting to make sure she gets her feet on there correctly to get the out.
And worth noting, she was an outfielder before she was a shortstop. Coach, as we were told today, moved her to shortstop and has liked the way she has looked there. And all things considered, doesn't look like someone who is new to the position.
Well, when you're an athlete, a lot of times you can play multiple positions throughout your career. And that was one thing that I even noticed coming into this tournament, when I was looking at just lineups, where people have been around the field defensively for these teams, there have been a lot of moving parts. You'll have players who started some games in the outfield, also started some games in the infield. You might have somebody who was a catcher who also played third and who also played left field. These coaches have got players that they know they can move around at different places if needed.
12-game hitting streak right now for Taylor Hodson. As a result, her batting average is up to .348. Hits this one right to Seda. Seda over to second. That one is in time. So back-to-back fielder's choices. The 4-6, but no double play. So now Hodson is on first. That won't go down as a hit, of course, but what a tournament she has had so far, with 2 runs driven in, and is 5 for 10 so far. Now 5 for 11, after that at bat, but has done exactly what you'd want out of that number 3 spot, is stepping in. Now, we talked about how good some of these power hitters have been. Delaney Warnick, of course, goes without saying, but Kayla Moran, the first baseman for UC, into the box, and she is dangerous at the plate and has been in this tournament.
Well, and if I remember correctly, she had the home run that ended the game back on Wednesday when we were having almost nothing but run rolls that day. And the funny part was almost right after she ended the game here, then the game that I had over at Field 3 ended on a game ender in short innings as well.
And Moran, not a power hit, but a nice contact hit past Warnick at short, and she is on first. Hodson will take second with 2 outs.
The big thing, at least there, was that was put in place where somebody couldn't make a play on it to try and at least get the force out at second to try and just keep the inning going. Now you've got a runner in scoring position in Hodson.
Moran extends her hitting streak now to 8 games, including, of course, every game in this tournament. She is 6 for 11 with 1 home run, 7 runs batted in, a couple of doubles, and 4 runs scored. And certainly, I think that's great of a line as that is. We're not going to be talking about her for tournament MVP short of something wild happening today, but that's great work from your cleanup spot. We just talked about it with Hodson. You're getting basically a hit every other at bat from your 3 and 4 spot.
And that's the meat part of the lineup. You've got the top of the lineup where you're hoping that they're getting on base. Then you've got 3 and 4 coming up to either get them into further scoring position or to then drive them in. And obviously it's been working for UC since they're here on Championship Saturday.
This is Danny Pesey now at the plate, and she has a 2-1 count working against Burdick. Burdick, though, has 2 outs, forced 2 ground balls that both ended in identical fielder's choices, 4-6. And Pesey skies one towards the shallow deck. She does not get out of the infield. Warnick will make the play against the sun, and that will retire the side. So we are scoreless as we head to the top of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. And we'll be back right after this on the MEC Sports Network. UC 30 in the season. Moyer Sports Complex, the site for this one in scenic Salem, Virginia. Tucked away in the mountains, UC and Glenville State looking to put a wrap on what has been a terrific softball season in the Mountain East Conference, though both of these teams expected to move on into NCAA play, which does take just a little bit of the drama out of this game. But the nice part is for these players, they don't care about that right now. They care about getting this win.
Exactly. Every single one of them out here wants a championship. I mean, the seniors for UC would love a chance to walk out having 4 rings. I mean, how many players just anywhere in the country have a chance to end their career and say, hey, I've got 4 rings in my 4 years. Glenville State wants that first one. And, of course, even with the NCAA tournament, even though you know that you're most likely going to get that at-large bid, it feels a whole lot better when you know your name is going to be called anyway because you got the automatic bid with the title.
Mass out ahead of Kylie Goodman here, a 1-2 count on the third baseman. And she will hit this one weakly towards second base, where Emma Smith will handle for the first out of the inning. So far, not a lot of pop in the bat. Both pitchers have thrown well. Even the one hit we saw, a little kind of a well-placed, not a particularly hard hit, but well-placed ball by Kayla Moran.
Well, we got to be careful. Yesterday we thought we were going to have a pitcher's duel, and then everything exploded.
That is exactly what it looked like as this one on one pitch hit to Hadaway for out number 2. But that is right. It was a scoreless first 2 innings, and it looked like Delaney Holler and Macy Bogus, the story was going to be about the 2 of them, and that wound up not being the case. 2 of the best pitchers in recent memory in West Virginia prep high school softball. Now working with 2 outs and nobody on, it's Hannah Howe up for the first time. Howe, a .287 hitter on the season.
And she struggled a little bit at the beginning of the tournament offensively, got her first hit of the week yesterday, being able to get that win over Frostburg State, but starting to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, swings through, and to your point, 0 for her first 7 against West Liberty, Fairmont, and Concord, and then now is 3 for her last 6, including scoring a run yesterday. And if you can get hot at the right time, they're not going to ask as many questions. They didn't need her when she went 0 for 7, but they have needed her 3 for 6 streak, especially in these last day when they were facing elimination.
Yeah, when you get to survive in advance time, you need everybody at some point to be able to step up.
Mass with the 1 and 2 and 2 outs, and that one a little high, so 2 and 2. Top of the second here, Alex Widerspiel and Scott Hall with you. If UC wins, the tournament is over. If Glenville wins, we have another game, winner take all. Mass's next pitch misses, full count.
But at least we know weather-wise we'll be good today.
Yeah, only the one day there was concern on day 1, and we managed to get done early enough thanks to some of those run rules. As there's a well-hit ball down the line. That is fair and played by Palestina well to hold Howe. But we just talked about it. She's been hitting the ball much better in the last couple of games. Now 4 for 7 here in her last 7 at-bats.
Yeah, she's really making the adjustment, and when you can have somebody who's a little bit further down the lineup batting in the 7th spot, that's always good, because then if you can also then get the momentum going behind you, as it looks like we might have a pinch runner coming over at first, but then if you've got McLean and Harward that can also get something going, then you go back around to that top of the lineup within the same inning and try and produce more runs.
In the history of this tournament, since switching to the divisional format in 2016, there have been 5 instances where we have needed 2 games. In those instances, there's only been a split 1 time. The team that won game 1 has won game 2 4 out of 5 times. This one hit towards right field. That doesn't look like it's going to land in fair territory, and it does not. So Howe will head back to first as
McLean.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, our pinch runner is Katie Hicks.
Sorry, Katie Hicks, who, of course, we talked a little bit about yesterday, and an extremely talented runner out of Tucker County. But McLean is at the plate now for her first at-bat.
Yeah, Katie Hicks joining her twin sister on the roster for the end of the season run, and one of the best cross-country and track runners for the Pioneers.
McLean is hitting .315 now. 1 home run, 22 runs batted in. And she will take the ball there.
Yeah, from what you were saying though, with the teams that if they need to win twice and they take game one, it really seems like they're able to just kind of keep that momentum rolling into game two, and maybe even just stun the team that just needed one and couldn't get it done in that first game.
And part of that too, I wonder, when a team has one of those unexpected early losses, like it does kind of lend the idea that, the best team generally winds up winning in this tournament. UC has done it, of course. We talked about it 2 years ago, doing it the hard way, where they won both. And I'm sure Davis and Elkin still smarting over that one, having had a perfect first couple of days. And then UC has to win 6 to get the job done, and they did that. The only instance of a split, you have to go all the way back, though, to 2017, West Virginia Wesleyan and UVA Wise, as Wise would win game one and Wesleyan would win game two to hold off the Wise comeback attempt. Wise, of course, no longer in the Mountain East Conference. They've since switched out, but good at bat here for McLean, by the way. 2-2. She's fouled off a couple here.
And in just her first appearance here against Mass in this contest. So that's somebody who's been paying attention there in the dugout, trying to see what she can do.
That pitch just misses full count.
I'll get a little disagreement from the UC fans here in attendance, but you can always expect that to happen at some point, even on pitches that you can tell if you've got a view like we do.
Oh, and McLean ripped that one to left field, but Palestina well placed. So that'll do it. Final out of the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. We're scoreless to the bottom of the second. Back in a moment.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
What's possible when you have the freedom to explore things that inspire you? To be a part of a community that supports and challenges you. Where can you go to find the space and time to reach your goals? Who can you become when you're able to make connections in a place where you belong? Find out what's possible at Frostburg State University.
Bottom of the second here, and UC will send up to the plate Smith, Sarah, and Espinoza, all for their first at-bats of this one. Kylie Burdick, second inning on the mound for Glenville State, as the Pioneers and Golden Eagles are scoreless here in the first game, possibly a second game if Glenville can get the win here, but early on, it kind of feels like two boxers kind of feeling each other out in these early stages.
A little bit, well, and especially these two teams have played each other earlier this year, but
not in this tournament.
But obviously it's been a while, yes, and then haven't played each other here, and things can change over about a month's time. Somebody can really just get the red hot bat, red hot arm in the circle.
As that was ripped to left field, but Shelby McDaniels well positioned there to read the ball from Smith for out number 1, and there is a little bit of a breeze. It's not as active now. It's a light breeze, but it is heading out towards left field, so you even saw there she took a couple extra steps back. I don't think she was expecting that trajectory right off the bat, but nothing she couldn't handle.
It'll get a little bit of an extra push, not anything, where you've got that high fly ball that should land in shallow left field that ends up over the fence. Nothing as disastrous as that, but yes, it can give still just a little bit of a push to it.
Burdick's first pitch a strike, so she gets ahead of Kaylee Sarah here at her first at bat, and Sarah swinging through, strike 2. Sarah a .216 hitter for UC, and of course her work in the field, primarily part of her utility, but she's hit the ball well in this tournament. She is 3 for 8 in this tournament with 3 runs batted in and 2 runs. So listen, you don't have to hit well all year when you're on a really good team, but if you hit well in the tournament time, you're going to earn playing time.
Exactly, and right there it is. Good shot up the middle, went with a pitch that was just a little bit outside, driving it with a little bit of a curve over towards the right center field gap, but one of the first ones that we've seen of solid contact that made it to a gap, because obviously the last batter with Smith, good solid contact out to left, but this one, a good drive there into right center.
So got behind in the count, but a good swing there on the 1-2. So we'll now see Espinoza. Apriano Espinoza hitting .194 this season. She's still looking for her first hit of this tournament. And I think for the UC fans, thinking no better time like the present.
Oh, exactly. With one away and a runner on, it'd be a great time, even if she can just get a base hit here, just to go ahead and move Sarah into scoring position and try to see if they can break this deadlock.
That one right back to the mound, and Burdick will turn two. She got good contact on that one, just in the wrong spot. And Burdick with just a little shrug, just a good day at the office.
Look at what I found, basically. I mean, and she's still with a big old smile as she heads back in. But look at this. Yeah, great contact. And she just flips the glove right up. But great reaction to then turn and know she can get the double play at first.
Scoreless after 2 to the top of the third. We go here on Championship Saturday.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there?
At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have.
No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
Scoreless as we enter the top of the third. That's a good bit of work in her own support from Kylie Burdick to get out of the second inning with a runner on and only one out. Turns her own double play and brings Addison Mass back out, though Mass has pitched exceptionally well so far today. 2 strikeouts, and as we've noted, there just hasn't been a lot of really good contact from either of these lineups so far. The pitchers have had the better of it so far.
Yeah, well, again, a lot of times you can expect that through the beginning innings of a contest. You know, once batters come up for the second time and potentially even a third time, that's where they can possibly start to make an adjustment.
So the plate is Alexis Harward. Harward with the 1-2 count here, hitting .288 on the season in her 32nd start of the season. Has been a fixture here in the tournament as she takes that one close, but a ball. She is 3 for 10 in the tournament so far and hits this one sky high. Plenty of room for Taylor Hodson for out number 1.
They've been able to make a little bit of contact on Mass, but yeah, nothing really too solid yet at this point to be able to try and barrel something up and get a good hit.
So looking for some better at-bats here. It was the top of the order in the first inning that probably struggled the most for Glenville. McDaniels and Burns due up here this inning. Both struck out in the first, and McDaniels swinging at the first one. Tough play at short. Don't think there's going to be a throw here. It's a great effort from Ella Zucchero, but that's the type of short game in golf I'm looking for. As McDaniels just puts it in a perfect spot where there is no chance for a throw.
Exactly, and you know, sometimes with an infielder, they want, after making a play like that, they still want to try and make the throw, but you know, sometimes the best throw you make is the one you don't take, and at that point, from her knees, she knew she was going to be trying to rush it.
So Lillian Burns thinking about a bunt here, but pulls back.
And the teams in this tournament, they have not been afraid to go with the small ball. Try and drop down that sacrifice bunt, especially when they've been struggling a little bit to try and see if they can get some offense going.
That's exactly what they do here, and Hodson makes a really nice play on down to first. No play to second, so that is the second out of the inning, but does put a runner in scoring position for probably the player you're most excited about having in this moment, Delaney Warnick.
Exactly, and you've got a runner in scoring position now. We've been seeing her belt bombs, but she doesn't really have to at this point. If she can just drive it into a gap in the outfield, you've got speed at second base and Shelby McDaniel. She's going to be thinking 2 outs, 2 bases, unless something is really going to make Coach Schoon throw up the stop sign.
First pitch misses for a ball, so runner in scoring position for the first time today for Glenville here in the top of the third. With 2 outs and Delaney Warnick at the plate, and Warnick going to get ahead in this count 2-0. Was hit by a pitch on her previous at-bat, so her outrageous numbers from a hitting perspective did not improve or get worse. Her OBP got better, though.
Yes, the on-base percentage went up just a little bit more, as if that really needed more help.
Yeah, I will have to look at it at some point. I haven't looked at what but the fact that her batting average, I believe she's 7 of 15. We talked about last time. So the OBP is probably just it's at higher.
Well, for the season at least, it's at 419, but she is slugging 663.
Yeah, I bet that's pretty close on what the OBP is in the tournament, is that 660 number for slugging. This one hit right back to Mass, off the glove of Zucchero. They're going to send the runner, the throw home, the tag. No, they're going to say that it's not laid, and the runner comes across. 1-0 Glenville to start here. What a tight play at the plate. Shelby McDaniels is pumped.
And Mass is furious. I think she thought the tag was put on there. McDaniels, got to see her a couple of times come flying around to home and just barely beat the tag at the plate. She's got speed, she's aggressive, and so is Coach Schoon.
Great throw. It's bang, bang. It's right there.
Great call there by the home plate umpire, Mike McCorkle. He was on top of it. And Warnick with another RBI.
That one a little more bizarre as it went. Mass got a little piece of it, then Zucchero got a little piece of it, and then it lands in Emma Smith's hand, and she made a great throw home.
Well, exactly, and it just, unfortunately, with that speed of McDaniels, there was just kind of a slight hesitation, as I don't think they recognized at the moment yet that McDaniels was still running.
This is Emily Nolan now, 1-1 count for her. Nolan 0 for 1 flew out to right field to end the first inning, and she has Warnick on first with 2 outs, and now a 1-0 lead for the Pioneers. Hit this one hard up the middle and will send Warnick to second, and a single for Nolan, whose hot tournament continues.
There are definitely a lot of players between these two teams, and obviously once you get to championship Saturday, most of the ones picked for all tournament team are going to come from these two. But there are so many options from both of these teams, as we see 2 of them right now out on the base paths.
That will bring Kylie Goodman to the plate. Lined out weakly to second base and gets this one off the hands and over Zucchero. They're going to send one runner, the throw to third, and they got her out. That's out number 3. The run did score, so 2-0. A bang-bang play on the 7-5 throw out to end the inning, but Glenville has taken a 2-run lead into the bottom of the third.
Good shot there by Goodman just to put that nice bloop out there. And again, Coach Schoon, she has been absolutely aggressive in trying to bring her runners around. No hesitation on trying to get Warnick to come, but a good decision there from Palestina to, she knows she's not going to get the runner at home, go get the runner at third and at least get the out and get out of the inning.
It's a high effort play there, by the way, from Nolan, who I think kind of took the tag in the face there, but
it looked like she didn't care because she's even pointed home going, it doesn't matter, we got the run.
Yeah. So that'll take us to break. We're back in just a moment. Bottom of the third, 2-0. Glenville on top, and they had to have it.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
Back here in Salem, Virginia, and Glenville has to win this game to force a second, and they now have a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the third. Now they have to work on protecting it in what has been already one of, if not one of, certainly the best season in program history. Trying to end it in spectacular fashion. Their first ever appearance in this championship Saturday, and trying to make it their first championship Saturday win as well.
Well, yeah, Coach Schoon has put together an incredible roster. They've stuck together. These 4 seniors have a great group of juniors coming up behind them as well, so that bodes well for the future for the Pioneers.
So this is Maya Hadaway going to take ball 1 here, 1-1. And, you know, we talked a little bit about it, and we were just handed Glenville State's all-time lists are littered with some of the players that we've talked about. Kylie Burdick, Delaney Warnick, Emma McLean, Shelby McDaniels, Kylie Goodman. So those upperclassmen have been all over it. You know,
exactly.
Burdick on the mound, all-time wins and shutouts leader in the program history.
Exactly, and all of them are seniors other than Warnick.
It'd be nice to get her back next year, I'm sure.
Oh, that's not something they're going to complain about.
As Hadaway goes around, take a lengthy walk back to the batter's box, 2-2.
Yeah, sometimes slappers, you know, or even just on the swing and a miss, you like to take, okay, all right, I got to clear that one out of my mind, so I'm going to take a moment.
And hits this one sharply to third. Nice throw by Kylie Goodman over, and well played to get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, way to stay down on that one, because that ball, the way it was skipping across the dirt, you're probably not going to see a big jump there. So she got down low, knew that she could protect it as it skipped into her glove.
So Ella Zucchero to the plate, walked in her first at-bat of the game, hitting .353 on the season, and she's been excellent in this tournament. 4 for 10 with 6 runs scored and an RBI. Set a new career high yesterday with 4 runs scored in the win over Fairmont State, a game that they won by 5.
She's been incredible there at the top of the lineup, and that's the kind of production that you want to see, not just from your leadoff batter, but obviously the people behind her, because you see that Zucchero is getting on base, but then the people behind her driving her in.
She gets ahead of Burdick in this count, 2-0, nobody on and 1 out, and she's looking at that one all the way for a strike, 2-1. Pitching depth has been so critical. We'll talk about it right after this pitch, but Burdick got this one off the hands. Diving play by Warnick. She slows it down, but Zucchero is going to get to first. Think she probably would have gotten there no matter what.
I think that was much along the same lines as what Zucchero had happened to her in the last half inning, where you make that dive and you stop the ball, but you know you don't have a chance to make that throw to first.
But as I was noting, though, pitching depth obviously really important. We saw what happened to Fairmont State yesterday when they just couldn't find a pitcher out of the pen to come in for Delaney Haller. And conversely, while UC has not needed it, we know they do have some depth.
Yes.
Glenville, like for them, it's a luxury. Glenville, this has been important during this tournament, obviously, with both Bogus and Burdick.
Well, and they were able to throw Stump the entire distance to get that win against Frostburg State yesterday, so that helped give more rest to both Burdick and Bogus. I wonder if they're possibly saving Bogus if they need her to come in and close, or then if possible to come in and just start game 2 if they make it to game 2.
And you mentioned Stump, who also got a save against Concord, so which is not super common in softball to have those scenarios. She came in and did the job. So they've needed that whole group to really piece together to get to this weekend, or this day, I should say, specifically Saturday. 2-1 the count now on Palestina.
Yeah, in softball, you generally don't see the save numbers like you will in baseball, but that's mostly because a lot of times when you've got a starter that can go the distance, you leave them in and just let them go.
Good hit ball from Palestina here. Step forward for McDaniels to record the out. And that'll be 2 down now. Palestina goes to 0-2 on the day, and Taylor Hodson comes to the plate. This is part of that streak of players who reached on fielder's choices back in the first inning. So Hodson's OBP went up, the batting average did not.
Yeah, but at least reaching base safely. Now, granted, you obviously don't want it to lead to an out with a base runner on, but you are still getting somebody on base because sometimes you still got to have that speed coming down the line to make sure that you do beat out that double play opportunity.
It is a 2-0 lead here, and that first pitch good for a strike. 0-1 for Glenville. They are the road team as the worst seed in this tournament. They were the 2 seed in the South. UC the 1 seed in the South. So in many respects, this is effectively also a division championship since they were co-division winners this year with identical 24-6 records.
Well, and they split during the regular season as well. You know, one team taking a doubleheader here, then the other team would take the doubleheader here, and so they've really been fairly evenly matched.
I don't remember what that second tiebreaker was that ultimately went to UC. I believe it was common opponents. Common opponents in the South Division. So this next one, 2-2. We have one of several very helpful sports information directors nearby. Jagger from Glenville State has been extremely helpful all tournament. Everybody who's been here has done a phenomenal job in this. This is hit softly to third. Goodman again, bobbled a little, but good work recovering, and then the throw on down is perfect.
A good stretch from Howe over at first, as she knew that this one was going to take just a little bit longer. You've got Hodson running down the line. You've got to get as far out as you can to make sure you catch that ball.
2-0 Glenville State. Can they add to their lead over UC? Back in a moment here with the MEC Championship Saturday in softball.
Decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners because you're...
It'll be Seda, Howe, and McLean for Glenville State against Addison, Mass in this top of the 4th inning. Now, of course, this is critical mass territory. She has been spectacular after the 4th inning in these games, and she's going to need a little run support. Glenville, of course, one of the best offenses in not just the MEC, but really all of Division II softball. UC more middle of the road-ish by MEC standards. But as we've seen in this tournament, they have had their moments where they're able to put together big outputs, 6 runs against Frostburg State, 9 runs yesterday against Fairmont. So it's not like there's been a lack of run support. That's how UC got to this point unblemished, 3-0.
Well, I think sometimes an offense can, and not to say that they are, but you can potentially take it for granted when you have somebody in the circle. You know, from before when it was Brianna McCown, and now you've got Addison Mass. You feel like maybe it's not as important.
So Zaylee Seda continuing the streak. That's actually the 4th consecutive hit. And that's the 5th hit in the last 6 at-bats, with the 1 out being a sacrifice. The other 2 outs, of course, came that throw to third. So Glenville State getting to Mass a little bit here. And a no-out runner on first, and going to square Howe around a bunt, but she pulls back.
Well, we had talked about it pregame before we came on air, was that what Glenville State would want to do in this one is see if they can get to Mass early and potentially push her from the game, whether it's 3rd, 4th inning, something like that. If you can get the ace pulled early, then see what you can do afterwards, because you know that obviously UC, if they're thinking that this is going to go to a second game, they want to rest Mass just a little bit more.
So Howe's sacrifice bunt will advance Seda to second. Now, I was looking at this as well. This has been kind of an oddball tournament because I came in kind of hyping this up as the Chaos tournament, right? And that really just has not been the case in this one. If you look historically, typically most of the time the worst seeded teams, they don't necessarily beat out the better seeded teams, but by the numbers here, hold on, I have this somewhere in my notes, but typically speaking, 5, 6, 7 wins in that range, usually always under 500, but close to 500. So far in this tournament, 12 games featuring a higher seed versus a lower seed, so not a 1-1 or a 2-2 or a 3-3. The worst seed is 2-10 so far in this tournament. West Virginia State with one upset, they got eliminated, nearly pulled a second one in a marathon of the game.
Yes, it was.
And then Glenville State, of course, beating Fairmont yesterday. That's it. Those are the only actual legitimate upsets we have seen in what is typically the Chaos tournament. It would be the lowest output ever in an MEC tournament if that holds, as going around for a strike there, it's 1-2.
Well, the teams that have been at the top of this conference have really just been absolutely so strong when you look at their records, whether it's been Glenville, Charleston, Fairmont, even Frostburg. So they have shown just throughout the season the ability to really just take control when they need to. And we do have a pinch runner out at second. That is Addie Hicks, the other twin sister from Parsons, West Virginia.
So we've seen both Hicks sisters so far here in this game, and Emma McLean now with a 2-2 count, 1 out. Glenville trying to maximize, and of course they know it. They've got to maximize runs against Addison Mass any chance they can get. Count now full. Going back here to the previous point, in only one season, 2015, did the worst seed have a winning record. That was the true chaos year, and that was done a little bit differently. The tournament back then was seeded 1 through 12. This one is fouled off. That was the final year before they switched to the division format. Since then, we have never had the worst seed have a better record than the higher seed over the course of a tournament, but we've seen 7-8, 7-8, 5-7, 4-8. So 3-9 is the worst output. That was back in 2019 when West Liberty won as a 1 seed. This one hit high in the air. There should be room here, and ranging over to make that play is Ella Zucchero for out number 2.
And Zucchero, great job. She was sprinting right from the start on that one. Did not want to give McLean an opportunity. And with that catch, knowing that you are near third base, there is no chance that Hicks is going to try and tag up to go from second to third. And we've got a pinch hitter coming up. Andy Jo Howard coming in for Alexis Harward. We had this yesterday.
Harward popped up in her only at bat. So now Andy Jo Howard, who has been solid and has gotten a fair bit of playing time in this tournament, though has not started. She has pitched some in this tournament. She's also 1 for 2 in her at-bats and has driven in 4 runs. Yesterday, I believe she was one of the ones who drove in a run on a walk. But she has also driven in a run on a hit as well in this tournament.
Yep, she was actually the first of what it ended up being back-to-back bases loaded walks.
And Kaylee Sarah, good beat on that ball, and Addison Mass got into a little bit of trouble, worked her way out of it with no runs allowed on 1 hit, no errors, and we head now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Can UC respond to right now the only marker on the board, Glenville's 2-run 3rd inning? Back in a moment here on the MEC Sports Network.
Tomorrow's innovators, teachers, caregivers, researchers, leaders, and creators all have one thing in common. They started out just like you. At West Liberty University, you are the focus. This is a place where you will gain the skills, knowledge, and confidence to change your life and the world around you. It all starts here, with you. Visit westliberty.edu to start your journey. It's all here at West Liberty University.
Glenville State University offers cutting-edge programs, small class sizes, and dedicated faculty providing students with a personalized experience focused on their success. With the lowest tuition in the Mountain State, every student has the opportunity to achieve their goals. At Glenville State University, you'll find a community that supports, challenges, and inspires you every step of the way. From hands-on learning in state-of-the-art facilities to internships that connect you with real-world opportunities, we prepare you for the challenges and triumphs of tomorrow. Pioneer your future at Glenville State University.
Standing out for Charleston, the first baseman, number 17.
Hitting the midway point of this one, and see if UC can battle back here against Kylie Burdick, who got into you would say, I don't want to use the word trouble, but she started getting hit a little bit in the previous inning. We saw some better contact off of her pitches, and she worked her own way out of it with a great double play. That was back in the second inning, and then in the third inning with retiring 2 batters consecutively in Palestina and Hodson after the single from Zucchero.
Well, the Golden Eagles have been able to get somebody on base in each of their half innings so far. It's just then Burdick and the defense, they are able to clamp down after that.
Kayla Moran, 1-1 count. She is 1 for 1 today with a single. Moran has had a really nice tournament for UC so far in their 3 wins, and hits this one a chopper towards second. That's going to be trouble, and it is not in time. Heck of an effort there from Zaylee Seda, but there was a lot that would have gone into trying to get that one as she had to get up and then rearrange her throw as well.
Well, Moran's got decent speed coming down the line and especially coming out of that left-handed batter's box, so that takes even just a fraction of a second of time away from Seda. But a great effort just to stop it again. Yeah, just can't quite get up in time to be able to make that throw over to first.
Yeah, what a weapon Moran is. Of course, we talk about her as the best power hitter for UC, and looked like the Golden Eagles want a bunt here. This is ruled fair and thrown down the line. So that took a moment there. Mike McCorkle said that was a fair ball.
Well, now they're going to talk about it.
Okay, so Mike McCorkle, Amy Grail at first, and Brian Howard at third, chatting about this here. While we take a moment to wait and see what the call is here, it's either going to wind up being Moran on second and PC out, or PC back to the plate to take a second pitch.
Yeah, with an 0-1 count, yeah. And he does say foul ball.
Which I think was the right call. That was certainly my initial thought when she bunted it, that it was foul.
That was what I thought as well.
Worth noting, you mentioned about Moran's speed, though. What a weapon she is. She's also the cleanup hitter, best power hitter, leads the team in stolen bases as well.
And that's not something you see too often from somebody who's playing first base in the world of softball, and probably even from the world of baseball as well. And typically, your stolen base leaders are playing short, they're playing outfield, maybe second, but definitely not one of the corners, somebody from behind the plate. But yeah, Moran, she's tall as well, so she's got a great reach, great long stride.
Going around to bunt again, and that's a real nice one from PC, and good charge from Hannah Howe, and throws it over to Seda to retire PC, but she gets the sacrifice, pushes Moran to second base, and now UC with a runner in scoring position for the first time since the first inning.
Yeah, that was an excellent bunt there from PC, trying to push it a little more towards the first base side and make Howe have to come a little bit deeper and also curve her run towards the circle a little bit to be able to make that throw back over to first. So could have even been an opportunity for PC to be safe on that.
Emma Smith will step to the plate, and looking at the first pitch for a strike. Smith led off the second inning in her only at-bat, is 0 for 1 flying out to left field, hitting .233 on the season.
And she did have solid contact in that first plate appearance. Let's see if she can straighten something out.
She'll take ball 1 there. Smith, of course, has had a solid tournament. Not spectacular, but 2 for 7 with 3 runs batted in. And again, from the bottom part of your order that hasn't hit super well all season, you're not going to complain about a little bit of production there in 3 wins.
Well, and especially when it's driving somebody in, because it's getting those runs produced. You need to climb a little higher up on that scoreboard, whether you have to come back, whether you've got the lead and you want to build out your lead a little more.
This one going to be into foul territory. That one, I think, winds up in the away bullpen, which, fortunately, I don't think anyone is warming up in there, as Burdick has been excellent so far. 2-2 the count now. 1 out and a runner on second base in the form of Kayla Moran.
There is somebody down in the UC bullpen right now looking like they're just getting in some quick spins.
And swinging through, that'll be strike 3. Turned her orbit around, and Burdick gets her first strikeout of the day. Hang the K and bring Kaylee Sarah to the plate.
And it's a big out there to get the strikeout, because you've got the runner at second and they can't move, so you keep them there in that position.
Sarah 1 for 1 today, singled back in the second inning, and a chance now to do it with a runner on. Hit a pretty good ball. We talked about it again. She has not been overly productive over the course of this season. She's been very productive in this tournament, though.
Well, and also, of course, her job behind the plate and how she has been the second half of that battery with Addison Mass. When you have that trust between your pitcher and catcher, that's always an added bonus out there.
Counts 1-1 now. Big at bat here in the bottom of the fourth. That one a bit outside, 2-1. It reminds me a little bit, and of course this is a very different level. They had a tough season this year over at in Salem, West Virginia, but Salem plays a sort of an MEC associate school, and they play an MEC schedule this year, and one of their pitchers, Kendall Lemley, just an outstanding ground ball pitcher, but typically works with one catcher over the course of the whole season as a result of that.
A lot of times pitchers will want to have that one catcher that they know they can work with. In my time at Marshall, I remember specifically with Jordan Dixon and Taylor McCord, Dixon in the circle, McCord behind the plate, the relationship that those two ended up working out. They could, just a little motion here, a little look, and they knew what each other was thinking.
2-2 with 2 outs to Sarah, fouls another one off. Really good at bat for Kaylee Sarah so far.
Yeah, if she can work the count just a little bit more here on Burdick, keep that pitch count going up as well, as that can potentially start to wear on Burdick a little later in the game. But the more pitches you can see at the plate, even if she doesn't get on base here, but the more pitches she can see will help her later on.
Big pitch, that one outside, and from Scott Hall's lips to reality, work the count, and it is now full.
So coaches, we were talking about, production hasn't quite been there as far as getting the numbers, but still, when coaches can see that they are working the count, such as this, seeing pitches, it helps out a little bit more, even for other teammates, because if you're in the dugout and you're watching and seeing what they're doing against a hitter that you might also be similar to as well, it can help you out later.
So the freshman, Aubriano Espinoza, desperately looking for that first hit in this tournament, and no time like the present with 2 runners on, including the tying run now at first. UC certainly can't complain. They've gotten what they needed from Kaylee Sarah. She's been on base twice without recording an out. And again, hitting right around that 200-ish mark. Hasn't exactly been a stellar season at the plate, but she's done exactly what you would have asked of her as a player in this tournament. So now looking for that from Espinoza here if you're Taylor Welch and this UC group. She takes one for a ball here, 1-0. And gets some good contact on this one. This is shallow right, and coming in to make the play. That's great work over the shoulder by Zaylee Seda, and that is out number 3. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 stranded. We head to the top of the 5th. Glenville State looking for some insurance here. They lead narrowly, 2-0, and trying to force a decisive final game on Championship Saturday. Glenville will send out the top of the lineup with McDaniels, Burns, and Warnick. McDaniels 1 for 2 today and scored 1 of 2 runs, and on a brilliant piece of base running, swinging at the first pitch. This one high, but looks like plenty of room here for Bianca Palestina to make the play out of left field, and that is out number 1.
I was actually kind of impressed that she took charge on that one instead of Espinoza coming in from center, but possibly with the placement of the sun, Palestina might have had a better look on it, because I think Espinoza might have been looking straight up into the sun a little too much.
Here's the DP, Lillian Burns, swinging on the first pitch as well, and this one well hit for her first hit of the day. She's now 1 for 2, first time on base struck out and had a sack bunt back in the third. So 2 pitches, 2 different outcomes, and 1 out for Delaney Warnick, who has reached base safely without recording an out twice. 1 for 1 today with a single and was hit by a pitch back in the first inning.
And already adding to her, what we have talked about is basically a stunning RBI total for this week.
That she did. She's up to 15 now, I believe, which is just remarkable for this Glenville team. And in this tournament, hits this one straight at third base. That's actually a great play from Hodson to knock that down. It is going to be wind up everybody safe. And another hit for Warnick on what has been a just remarkable tournament for her. I believe she's now up to 9 of 16, but that probably saved a couple bases.
Well, and that was a good, solid blast. I mean, Hodson, like you said, just to be able to knock that down. Now, granted, and they push Mass. They're going to go ahead and take her out of the game. I think Taylor Welch has possibly seen enough, thinking that the Pioneers are getting to her. Now, granted, with the way that ball was going into left field, it's going to take a mistake out there from Polestina in left to allow Burns to come around and score on that one. So I think she would have been stopping at second as well. But with the speed on that ball, Hodson knocking it down, it does take that away.
We'll meet the MEC Freshman of the Year when we come back here on the MEC Sports Network. Callie Masters is in. Addison Mass is out as Glenville State is trying to extend their lead here in the 5th inning. Back in a moment.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Still 2-0 here, but Addison Mass will come out in the top of the 5th inning, having recorded 1 out. So this is the first time that Addison Mass will not record an out for UC in this tournament. And Callie Masters will come in, the reigning Freshman of the Year in the Mountain East Conference. Had a terrific first year, 14-5 and 19 starts. This is her 5th appearance out of the bullpen, 2.11 ERA and an opposing batting average of 2.11 as well. Only allowed 8 home runs in 456 at-bats across 126 innings.
And when you can have your number 2 pitcher have an ERA of 2.11 and she's a freshman as well, that is absolutely impressive.
Emily Nolan, though, with runners on first and second. It's a tough first at bat to come into. Nolan has been red hot in this tournament. And we talked about how good the 3-4 hitters for UC have been. Obviously, Glenville, there may not be a better combination of 3-4 hitters in this tournament than what Glenville has done.
Yeah, Warnick and Nolan have just been absolutely on fire throughout this entire week. And during the break, we were just talking about what Glenville State's bats have done. I think they took that early loss in the tournament to Fairmont State to heart and said, this is not going to happen again. And they have just been unbelievably explosive.
Tough one for Masters, still looking for her first strike and not going to get it there. Walks the bases loaded in her first batter faced of the MEC tournament. But yeah, I will say it's like the Michael Jordan meme, which he doesn't even say the line in the documentary, but and I took that personally. Feels like Glenville State's philosophy at the plate right now.
And I've been around, now I haven't been around Coach Schoon, so I can't quite say probably what she has told. I've been around enough coaches to hear some speeches, though. When you have a game like that, they'll look at the players as we're going to have a pinch runner come out to second base. I believe that's number 88, Macy Duvall. So she's going to take the spot of Warnick out there at second. But a lot of times coaches, when you have a game like that, they will look at them and say, hey, remember this? Remember the way that felt? Then forget about it. Go out there and make those adjustments. And that's exactly what Glenville State has done in this tournament.
So Duvall pinch running at second. I think that's notable here, with the hope obviously being that you're going to put a ball into the outfield here with just 1 out. A hit potentially scores 2, and you've noted it. Coach Schoon has been really aggressive with the way she has sent runners. Sometimes that has bitten her, but by and large, she's been rewarded in the last 2 wins for Glenville in this tournament. Was rewarded, 2 of the last 3, I should say, was rewarded against Concord for aggressively sending runners, was rewarded against Fairmont for beating them at their own game.
Well, one of the things, too, is that when the opposing team knows that they have an aggressive coach there at third, it puts pressure on the defense as well, because now they're thinking, I have to make this throw, I have to make this reaction quick. There's no hesitation here, and that can force mistakes.
Waste pitch there from Callie Masters for ball 1 and 2. Now the infield playing a little bit in here. I think the assumption is they don't want to trade outs for runs, so if they do get a ball on the ground hit to one of these infielders, assuming they're going to make the throw home. But that one in the dirt, 2-2.
Good job by Sarah to get down and block that and make sure it doesn't creep its way through.
Boy, this is feeling eerily reminiscent of yesterday. Fifth inning was where Glenville exploded. One of the biggest innings in the history of this tournament, if not the biggest inning. I know you did some research on that. We'll get to that in a moment as this is fouled off.
Yeah, I took a look at, well, first thing I started with was just, again, how this senior group has done in scoring 10 or more runs in a game. They did it twice in 23, 5 times in 24, 6 times in 2025. They've now done it 8 times this year. And as far as for most runs in an inning, I could really only get back to about 2014, but it looks like 11 has been the tops, and it has been done at least one other time.
So 3 straight, well, excluding the foul ball, but 3 straight, essentially 3 straight balls for Callie Masters here, and the count is now full with nowhere to put a runner. And this one is blooped and caught by the first baseman, Moran. That is a huge pitch and out for UC.
Yeah, it really is, because, again, it freezes everybody on the bases. They can't go anywhere. And so now you're down to just that final out. If you can get it again anywhere within the infield, you've got to force out at any point. And if it's a fly ball, have your outfielders go take care of it.
Of course, eliminated the sacrifice there. So stepping in and taking the pitch there is Saley Seda, who singled off of Mass to lead off the 4th inning.
And she had Addie Hicks come in to run for her, who ended up unfortunately getting stranded at second. So both of the Hicks sisters not able to get past second base today.
Masters took something off that one, but Seda wasn't biting. He falls behind in this count 2-0.
Glenville stay with 8 hits already to Charleston's 4. I mean, those bats have just been, they continue to work.
The next pitch misses, and for the second time in 3 at-bats, Masters falls behind 3-0.
She walked Nolan. She's not going to want to walk Seda now.
That one is in there for a strike. Alex Wiederspiel and Scott Hall with you, reminding you that should we have a decisive final game, it'll be 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. There is also no run rule in effect during Championship Saturday. This one hit right to second base, and Masters is going to get out of it without allowing a run here as Emma Smith in the right spot. It is 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Feels like a massive set of 2 outs for UC. We'll be right back after this.
It's about unlocking your potential and discovering your purpose.
It's about community and how we can better serve others.
It's about learning and doing.
It's about the journey and the road getting there.
It's about opportunities and the endless possibilities.
It's about finding where you belong, and it is here at Concord University.
It's about you, and it starts with you.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
We've been treated to a good one here. Glenville State, right now, has done what they need to do thus far to lead to a decisive second game and force what would essentially be a doubleheader. These teams have not played in this tournament yet. UC, though, is perfect in this tournament, and they have not been held to less than 6 runs in a single game. As first pitch swung on, hit towards left, and the diving play, Shelby McDaniels couldn't quite get it. The throw to second, not in time. Way to stretch that one out by Maya Hadaway.
And that's what this team needed. When you saw the energy coming out of the dugout when Masters got out of that inning with the line out over to Emma Smith at second, they were fired up, and now can they carry it to the plate? Hadaway wasting no time there, as that was almost an incredible catch from McDaniels, but just couldn't quite hang on. But great reaction, though, to get up and get that throw to second, just not in time. Hadaway with the aggressive base running.
So a leadoff double for Maya Hadaway. And that'll bring up the top of the order with Ella Zucchero.
Yeah, leadoff double on what was almost a SportsCenter Top 10 nominee play over there in left.
The 0-1 here. Zucchero looking. Zucchero is 1 for 1 today. Walked and singled back in the third. Broke up her streak, though, back in the first inning when she failed to score. Broke up her streak of consecutive appearances on base while also ending in a run. The outside of hitting a home run, the purest thing you can do.
But still increasing with that on-base percentage, which was already up to .447 for the year coming into today.
And Zucchero hits this one foul. Is there enough room? Hard play, and well done by Shelby McDaniels. So a little bit of redemption for number 11, the senior, who was a standout at Buckhannon Upshur, who also having an excellent year this year, I might add. And great play for her there.
Yeah, she was not going to let this one go. She knows how good Zucchero is at the plate, not wanting to give her another opportunity, crashing right into that chain link fence there down the left field line. Excellent job.
Been very even between these two teams. 4-4 in their last 8 outings against each other. UC had owned the series historically, but Glenville is, I think the way to define, they are an emerging power in the sport based on what they've done now the last couple of seasons. And again, if you go by the numbers, I don't have them in front of me at the moment, but if you go by the numbers, Sarah Schoon has done and already exceeded things that it took 20 years Glenville to do in a number of respects. All-Americans, all-conference players, winning seasons, regular season championships. It's been a tremendous run here for Glenville, and I don't think it should surprise anybody that they have reached this point where they could be potentially forcing their way into a decisive final game in this championship Saturday.
Yeah, she's been a spectacular hire for them, and if I remember correctly, too, it's also her, I believe, first head coaching job as well. But when she comes in, her first season in 2021, an 11-30 record, didn't qualify for the tournament. Next season, 17-27, again missed the tournament.
That's going to land. Palestina, that's going to get through. She's going to get extra bases out of it as McDaniels couldn't get there, and the lead cut in half on another double.
Again, taking that momentum from the defensive finish to the last half inning after Masters had to come in. Bases were loaded, no runs crossing the plate for Glenville State. That was absolutely huge for UC to get out of this. I mean, look at this great drive. McDaniels, I mean, she tries to cut that off as, you know, you have McLean going deep behind her, but you almost wonder if maybe that should have been a little bit more of take an angle to try and see if you can get back to it instead of just trying to go straight at it.
It's a big hit for Palestina there, and doesn't look like Burdick is coming out, but a little chat with the head honcho. And now Hodson will come to the plate. What's that conversation like in that moment there? You're just coming out to settle them down. What's the strategy talk? What's the thought process when the coach comes out to have that conversation?
A little bit, definitely. You kind of want to get a mentality of just kind of where are they? Is the pitcher basically going to look at you and say, "Coach, I'm good"? because that'll happen occasionally. But you want to know where they are. Hey, how are you feeling? Are you feeling tired at all? How does the arm feel? How do the legs feel? Do you feel like you're still getting a good grip on the ball and everything? So just kind of wanting to know where the pitcher's mind is at the moment.
Bottom of the 5th inning here, a 1-0 count to Hodson, who is 0 for 2 today, but did reach on a fielder's choice back in the first.
I have seen sometimes where the pitching coach starts to walk out, or even the head coach, whoever is the one that likes to direct the pitchers, walks out, and the look on the pitcher's face in the circle is, get out of here, I'm fine.
And 1-1, that one misses. 2-1. I think, high-level athletes, they usually know one way or another. They have a pretty good idea.
But even sometimes it's just to give them a moment as well. Maybe you need just a little bit longer than those 10 to 20 seconds since you're going to get in between while the next player steps into the batter's box.
So another miss there for Burdick. This is the first time we've really seen her labor today. Count at 3-1 now. Hodson looking at that one for a strike. Good pitch there.
Now there is somebody standing down by the bullpen. Can't quite tell if maybe that's Bogus.
The full count, that one fouled off. Well, even with my binoculars, it's a little far away, and it does look like now we have it on camera.
That is actually Stump, number 27.
Makes some sense considering, again, I won't be surprised if the thought process is we want Bogus as much rest as possible for a second game as Hodson fouls this one off. But there is also that note that only one of these teams is facing elimination. So if you're Sarah Schoon, you have this push-pull you're battling the whole game of what do I have to do to win this game, knowing that I also have to win the next game.
Well, and Stump is a good option. She's had a great season for Glenville State. She did an excellent job yesterday against Frostburg State.
This is hit towards left field, looking like this is going to be over the head and gets to the wall. This is going to score the tying run. It's the third double of the inning as that one got over McDaniel's head. Hodson with her first hit of the day, and we are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the power hitter Moran coming to the plate. She is 2 for 2 today.
Boy, McDaniels has been getting some work out there in left field. Everything right now seems to be going her direction. And even here with a lefty up at the plate, going with the outside pitch. Good job to drive it to opposite field and get enough on it to get it deep and over McDaniels. And again, yes, another double. And so now you have to wonder, Stump has come out of the bullpen. How much longer are they going to leave Burdick in? Are they going to let her try and finish this inning and not have Stump come out to a bad situation and maybe just take over in the 6th?
Still 1 out here, and pretty much the entire inning, save for the leadoff, has been 1 out with a runner on second. Double, fly out, double, double.
And I think we're going to have a pinch runner over at second. Looks to be number 1.
So Hodson comes out. Alex Hurley, who also played at Winfield. We talked about, of course, Macy Bogus and her time at Winfield, but Hurley now goes in, the sophomore, part of some fantastic Winfield squads. One of the, of course, feel like it's been half of our broadcast has been promoting high school softball in West Virginia, but does feel like, I mean, we're talking about some of the best programs in the state, and that is obviously one of them, and they've provided one of the best players in the Mountain East Conference tournament in the form of Macy Bogus, but now Alex Hurley with a chance to put her mark for Winfield on this tournament as well, representing the go-ahead run as Moran goes around for a strike.
Well, the quality of play at the high school level in the state of West Virginia has really gone up. I have, just in my time that I've spent at Marshall University, I have seen it go up so much exponentially throughout the years, and you can see it in, again, what UC's been doing over the last decade. Glenville State with its build-up, so many of the other teams, they are finding excellent players. Players are landing on the D1 level who are going places and making enormous impacts.
And this pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. Yeah, Bogus started her career at Youngstown State, as you were just noting about Division I, and then transferred to Glenville. Didn't really see a lot of mound time at Youngstown, but has obviously become a critical part for this Glenville team. This next pitch is low. So full count now on Moran. Burdick has labored some. Of course, the challenge has been she's had a couple of these deep counts where ultimately the end result has been a big extra base hit. And not going to be one here as the runner will advance to third, but well played by Hannah Howe to step on the bag, and that is finally out number 2 with now the go-ahead run on third.
Yeah, good job by Howe over at first because Moran got a pretty good smack on that one to pull it over towards that right side. But Moran, just go ahead and get that easy out at first, check that runner over at third and make sure they're not going to get any further.
PC comes to the plate. Danny PC is 0 for 1 today. Sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning. And UC was certainly hopeful with a leadoff runner on that they were going to be able to do some work here as this one hit towards right field. This is shallow, diving to make the play, and she can't get there. Alexis Harward had to lay all the way out and in safely at second. The go-ahead run has crossed the plate, and UC, trying to win their 4th consecutive Mountain East Conference championship, has come from behind to take a 3-2 lead.
And it has come with doubles, and 2 of them on excellent diving efforts from the outfielders that just couldn't quite hang on to it. You see another one here. I mean, you're not thinking distance here is going to get a double, but great base running from PC. Seeing that Harvard just, with an awkward landing, couldn't quite hang on to it. Good aggressive running. Slides right on into second, and of course, with a runner at third, coming home to score easily.
So another great West Virginia prep product from Yawkey, West Virginia. The Lincoln County High School star Megan Stump, already with great performance and a save in this tournament, will come in, see if she can do some work here for the Pioneers to keep them in this game as UC's bats have exploded here in the bottom of the 5th. We're back right after this on the MEC Sports Network.
You have dreams.
A better life, a better job, a better you.
So where do you start to build the skills necessary to get there?
At West Virginia State, you are not just a number, you are who you choose to be.
You receive personal attention from award-winning faculty.
You study in nationally recognized programs.
You learn the skills that will get you the job you know you can have.
No matter where you want to go
or what you want to do,
it starts at State.
So talk about narrow margins here. We'll introduce Megan Stump in just a moment, but 2 of the big extra base hits in this inning, Scott, essentially a half stride different, and the inning's already over.
Exactly, but still excellent efforts from both McDaniels and Harward. McDaniels in left, Harward in right, but just barely missing being able to make those catches. And sometimes, they always talk about football as a game of inches. Well, this one can be as well. You're off by just a few inches on being able to try and secure what would be a great catch or maybe even an easier catch, and instead of it being now trailing by 1, you're out of this inning still with a 2-run lead.
So Megan Stump comes in. Stump 8-3 on the season. This is her 13th appearance out of the bullpen for Glenville, and actually is the best ERA on the team, 1.74. Had her first save of the season through 60 and a third innings. Only allowed 1 home run in 235 at-bats as she faces Emma Smith here, who is 0 for 2.
Well, and she did an excellent job against Frostburg State and went the distance in that one, pitching all 7 innings. She did allow 7 hits, but she scattered them throughout the game. A couple of times getting in trouble, but facing some of the best hitters that the Bobcats had and got through it. She did have 5 strikeouts in that game as well.
Falls behind 3-1 to Emma Smith here. Smith struck out in the 4th and flew out in the 2nd. Now 3-1 for Stump with a runner on second, and this one skied towards center field. This should do it. Emma McLean is there. The damage, however, is done. 3 runs across the plate. The go-ahead run in the form of Alex Hurley from Winfield High School. And it is 3-2 UC on top of Glenville. Big inning coming for the Pioneers when we return on the MEC Sports Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
It may come down to the performance of the reigning MEC Freshman of the Year. Callie Masters just named Freshman of the Year before this tournament. Again, talking about great West Virginia players. Callie Masters was terrific at St. Mary's. Absolutely tortured a couple of teams in that part of the state over the course of her career. I'm sure there were folks who were ready to drive her to UC and get her out of here, get her out of St. Mary's. But now she's on the mound in a pivotal moment here for UC, coming in for Addison Mass, the reigning pitcher of the year. And her job is to potentially finish this and get a win for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. Now she would be the one to get the win if they can get it there.
Sky to center field. Espinoza is there. And so Kaylee Sarah, who's had a really nice day today, that's the first time, or excuse me.
There you go.
Hannah Howe.
Flip your cards.
Yeah. I get all distracted and didn't flip my cards to Glenville. Hannah Howe goes down. Excuse me. Howe's actually had a really nice day as well. That's her first time being retired in a non-sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, she still had good, solid contact on the ball, but unfortunately for her, just right within Espinoza's range.
And the other challenge here, of course, now after that performance by UC in the 5th, outs are at a premium. So you're only down to 6 outs and now 5 for Emma McLean. And she's going to take ball 1. 1-1 the count here.
Now, the one thing, at least with this Pioneers lineup, is that it is very heavily laden with upper-class players. So how can you handle the pressure of being down? As it looks like Kayla Moran over there at first might be having some issues, possibly some dirt in the eye maybe, as they've taken a pause here. But when you have upperclassmen throughout your lineup, that is always a blessing for the head coach, because now you have people who they've been through this before. You know, they've faced the pressure. What can they do in this moment? Can they come through and get the clutch hits when they need it?
We'll keep an eye on this. This could be a developing story, although Moran's got a kind of a goofy smile on her face as she is being treated there.
Well, every once in a while you get a little dirt in the eye. I had a pause yesterday over at Field 3 between Glenville and Frostburg. One of the catchers ended up with a fair amount of dirt in her eye. For Frostburg, she had to get that flushed out. You know what happens in a sport like this? You've got a dirt infield, and every once in a while it kind of get kicked up in your face a little bit.
So as we get set to resume here, count 1-1 in the top of the 6th. As noted, both of these teams are probably going to the NCAA tournament, though the automatic bid is what's on the line here. And certainly the better your resume, the better odds you have of potentially hosting, and however deep you can go hosting, if that is an option, as this one bunted, and this looks like it's going to be a tough play, and thrown out. What a throw from Kaylee Sarah, and the stretch from Moran. Looks like the maintenance work for Moran paid off.
Yep, the eyes were better. She could see the ball a little bit better coming from her catcher. Still, that was a great spot on the bunt, but an excellent defensive play. I mean, McLean, if that could have been pushed maybe just about another foot, but still, great job. I mean, with that one, with the placement of it, you have to have a great play from both your catcher and whoever is covering first on that one to get the out.
So 2 outs now, and Glenville, you can see Sarah there, cool as a cucumber. Glenville with Alexis Harward back at the plate here after she was pinch hit for in the 2nd inning. She's 0 for 1.
And Coach Schoon likes to put in Howard for Harward.
And then Harward back for Howard.
Exactly.
And chops this one towards third. That's a great scoop from Hodson, and the throw across in time. So UC now is in a bit of a different scenario. They're in the driver's seat and looking for insurance runs when we return at the bottom of the 6th inning. Will we have a decisive second game, or will a champion be crowned after the first. We'll find out coming up here on the MEC Sports Network.
For over 4 decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
So mirror images of one another. It's the 7-8-9 hitters for UC now as Kaylee Serra will swing through on strike one. She's 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk. And there might not be enough praise for Serra to go around. She's producing at the plate in this tournament when she really hasn't done that much this season. That's not really what she's on the team to do, but has added that little extra bonus hitting. And then you just saw in the previous inning exactly why she is in the lineup, making a brilliant play in the field.
When you've got a catcher who is that excellent behind the plate, even if the bat isn't quite there, you still leave them out there because she can make plays like that.
I was going to say it, and the inning ended so quickly, but at the time, if someone had asked me, if someone had paused time in that moment and said, would you bet on McLean getting on first after this bunt, I would have said, oh, absolutely, 100%. And Serra made a great play. This one, though, a soft touch, and I think she got it. What a play.
Check swing there from Serra. She wanted to hold back on that one, but unfortunately made contact and Stump. Unbelievable grab. And that's the effort you want to see from your pitcher coming out of the bullpen.
Stump gets the jersey plenty dirty there. That one will need a laundry day at the end of this, but that's a heck of a play. Players are helping her out now. That is a web gem. You see it again here. I just assumed this was going foul, and then Megan Stump,
it would have landed fair, but then how would it have bounced from there? And Stump was not going to give an opportunity to find out on that one. She laid out and made the catch. She's got a smile looking back at her teammates. And when you can have your relief pitcher coming in and making that kind of an effort to take away another opportunity from Serra, unbelievable job.
Can still see the spot where she smudged the first base line.
A pretty good dust up there as we've got a pinch hitter coming in now for UC.
So Espinoza has struggled at the plate in this tournament, though she has been excellent in center field. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a re-entry there.
Well, we've got Maddie Entler coming in.
And Entler has pinch hit a couple of times already in this tournament, looking at the first pitch for a ball. Entler, a .317 hitter on the season, is 0 for 2 with a run batted in the win over Frostburg State.
She is a freshman outfielder, but again, Espinoza with a little bit more of that experience, like you said, probably put her back out there defensively.
Certainly with the, trying to hold a lead in half an inning of the, for many of these players, not all of them as we're aware, the biggest game of their careers thus far. This is a younger UC team than the last couple have been. This one is going to be fouled off. But there is still, as you noted, plenty of that championship pedigree. It's a nice blend of upperclassmen and underclassmen.
Well, really, other than the freshmen and anybody who transferred in, every single one of them has won a championship with this team. So even the sophomores have got a title from last year. Yes, it's a whole lot of experience out there.
Entler strikes out. Ball came loose, so she runs down the line, but is tossed. So 2 outs here. This has been a good half inning so far in relief for Stump as she made the web gem and then struck out Entler, the pinch hitter. And now has Maya Hadaway coming to the plate. Hadaway got everything started in the 5th inning with that leadoff double and scored the first run for UC after they had been previously shut out.
And again, that was one that was just like we had talked about a half step away from being an excellent catch. And then you don't have that leadoff runner out at second, and the inning is completely different.
This one is popped up, not going to get out of the infield. I thought Stump was going to get all three, but she is waved off by Kylie Goodman, who makes the play. 1-2-3 inning for Glenville. Can't ask for anything more than that. We go to the top of the 7th, and the Pioneers will either extend this game or UC will be crowned Mountain East Conference postseason champions for the 4th consecutive season. Back in a moment.
For 4 decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
You know, we've spent so much time talking about all the great West Virginia prep talent. Forgot, of course, you mentioned Riley Lucas on the UC staff, also a tremendous West Virginia high school player, and then went on and played Division I.
Yeah, she really did. She starred for the Thundering Herd, and one of the best to come out of the state to play for Marshall during her 4 seasons and helped the Herd get to a Sun Belt championship game during her time as a player. Unfortunately, couldn't come through with a win because Louisiana was a ranked team at the time and absolutely incredible, but still, another star, local product, and it makes me feel a little old to see her out there now coaching because I remember seeing her come to our camps when she was a kid. She'd been coming there for years, then ends up playing for the Herd and is now coaching.
And now it's the pride of Upshur County from Buckhannon, Upshur. Shelby McDaniels, the count 1-1, and she'll take the next pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. McDaniels is 1 for 3 today. The leadoff hitter leading off in the 7th inning. You can't ask for much more for Glenville. Down by 1 run and a chance to potentially extend this thing.
Well, this is exactly where they want to be with McDaniels, Burns. Oh, my.
And it just gets over the glove of the second baseman, Emma Smith. So the leadoff runner is on. Glenville needs just a single run to extend this to a bottom half of the 7th inning.
And again, there's that game of inches just outside of the reach of Burns from Emma Smith from possibly being a great catch out there, but a good reaction from Hadaway in right. Still go ahead and throw it into first because you never know if the batter thinks, oh, I've got this single, and they don't run it all the way out to first, you've got a chance to get them.
So Lillian Burns comes in. Burns originally a transfer from Bellarmine and originally from Ohio. And took the first pitch of ball from Callie Masters. Masters in for Addison Mass, who was pulled midway through the game. This one bunted. Masters going to turn, make the throw on down to first. And the sacrifice gets McDaniels over to second base. But that's exactly what you want with Delaney Warnick coming up. And Warnick is 2 for 2 today.
Well, Burns has been an excellent bunter throughout this tournament. Coach Schoon has not hesitated to have her do that once McDaniels is on base, and of course, move her into scoring position for the one who has just been producing run after run throughout this tournament.
There is no player you would want up in this scenario than Delaney Warnick. And the first pitch outside for a ball. Now, McDaniels, of course, scored that opening run on what was a great base running effort from her. She is 11 of 11 on stolen bases this year. I wonder if Sarah Schoon is aggressive enough to try to get her to steal third to set up a sacrifice scenario. Maybe not with Warnick at the plate, but we'll see.
Well, the other possibility, too, is you also have to think of who is behind the plate, and we have seen the strong arm of Kaylee Sarah coming out from there. So the throw to third is going to be shorter than the throw to second. So unless you really think that maybe Hodson is not paying attention over there at third, you're really not going to go for it in this situation.
1-1 the count now. The pitch, Warnick fouls this one off into the netting. Now 1-2. 1 out and a runner on second in scoring position representing the tying run.
Warnick, a player who Still has another year of eligibility remaining, so somebody who can come back and continue to dominate for Glenville State.
She's going to own so many Glenville records when her career. She already owns some now.
Yes, her name will be all over the record books.
1-2, 1 out. Masters. And Warnick lays off and gets rewarded for it by Mike McCorkle, says ball 2.
Now you wonder, is that a good eye or is that taking a deep sigh of relief afterwards that the umpire did not call that a strike?
I have a good Jed Jerko story on that. We'll get to that in a moment. 2-2 here. Warnick swinging fouls that one off years ago when Jed Jerko was playing at WVU and I was doing college radio at the time. Jerko held off on a very similar pitch to make it a 3-2 count. The Ohio manager from Ohio University was furious with the call. Jed Jerko went distance the next play to tie the game in the top of the ninth, or the bottom of the ninth. Furious from the Ohio manager. And Warnick fouls another one off. Good at bat for her here. Obviously got to deliver, but keeping it alive is critical.
Well, I did get to see one earlier this week from Warnick in a situation where it looked like she had grounded out to third. They ended up saying that she hit it off of her foot while she was still in the box, so she came back up to the plate and 2 pitches later blasted one out to left.
Masters, the 2-2. And Warnick looking at that one, count is full. Doesn't get any easier. This is not a part of the order you can really pitch around with Emily Nolan next.
And the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up, so here trying to work the count against Masters.
Full count, 1 out, runner on second. Warnick fouls another one off. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but again, we've talked about this, that Delaney Warnick has put up absolutely bonkers numbers so far in this tournament for Glenville State. And you want to punctuate an argument for tournament MVP. No better moment than right here in this game with the entire championship on the line. And Warnick hits this one deep towards right field. This one going back is gone. Delaney Warnick again. Glenville State has the lead. 4-3 as Delaney Warnick blasts yet another in a historic week in Salem, Virginia.
Bomb number 5 this week for Delaney Warnick. You know, I talked about it earlier, did a little deep dive on her home runs this season. They have come in clutch moments as they're going to have to take a moment to go out there and fix that fence because Hadaway just absolutely broke through it because she was not going to let that go if she had an opportunity to try and catch it. But oh my goodness, Delaney Warnick coming through again for Glenville State. I mean, look at this. Outside pitch, goes with it, sends it to opposite field, and gone.
Delaney Warnick is now 10 for 18 in this tournament with 5 home runs. And doing the quick math in my head here, 17 runs batted in.
Her slugging percentage right now has got to be just off the charts.
So here's Nolan, and she hits this one softly. That one just fouled by maybe an inch or two. So Glenville has taken a 4-3 lead here in the top of the 7th. UC will, of course, have a chance if they can get to the bottom of the 7th with this still a close game. They will have an opportunity to finish the job here, but Glenville State, top of the order, did exactly what you asked, is retake the lead.
Yep, you got the base hit to get the runner on, the sacrifice bunt to move her into scoring position. Now, granted, Warnick bombs that out of the park. You don't care where they are on base at that point, but still, maybe she instead just drives one into the gap, out in the outfield. That ends up being a double. McDaniels gets to come home and score, but still, Warnick coming up clutch again.
1-1 here. This one hit towards right center field, but coming over to make the play is Hadaway. So Hadaway, who just took the fence down, trying to make that play on Warnick, gets the second out of the inning here on Nolan. And strong day for Nolan at the plate. She is 1 for 3, but now Kylie Goodman comes up also 1 for 3 with a single. And one of the rare had a single, but also ended the inning because a base runner after her single was thrown out at third.
Yeah, that's one that doesn't happen too often either. You're the final batter of the inning, but the out was not you.
So Masters falls behind 1-0 here. It's, of course, a really tough situation for Callie Masters coming into, had not pitched in the tournament. This one sent to right field again, opposite way, but Hadaway could have read a book there and might have done so. That is the final out, but Glenville State has done the job. Delaney Warnick hitting a monster shot that took the fence down in the process, and the Pioneers lead 4-3 with a chance to force a decisive final game of this tournament if they can record 3 outs here. We're back right after this.
Decades, the health plan has been rooted in your community and the state of West Virginia. A steady part of your family and your business. We're here for you with health services designed to manage and improve your well-being. The health plan is powered by a team of dedicated healthcare professionals and trusted local partners. Because your health deserves more than just coverage. It deserves commitment. The health plan. Here for you.
Alex Wiederspiel and Scott Hall back with you here. Glenville has taken a 4-3 lead in what has been a brilliant game here on Championship Saturday. Pioneers trying to force a decisive second game. UC trying to close it out here. Much like the Pioneers in the previous inning, UC starting with the top of their order. Zucchero, Palestina, and Hodson, who have been excellent, had a big 5th inning where UC got all of their runs. Ironically, though, Zucchero wasn't a part of that. Flew out to start the inning, and then flew out to make the first out of the inning, but then the trouble started. 2-1 now on Zucchero, who is 1 for 2 today.
Both of these teams coming into clutch inning time here in the 7th, right where they'd like to be in the lineup. And Zucchero, the last time she was up had that one that McDaniels caught there over by the fence, taking away an opportunity from her. But you've talked about it all the way through because you've been able to see it over here on Field 1. She's had an incredible week.
She really has. So UC has never been in this position before, by the way, as this is fouled off. They've never been the team that has the second game forced on them. They have done the forcing and won those.
It is a little bit of an unfamiliar situation for them, but again, this is a team that has a enormous championship pedigree, a lot of championship experience out here on this squad, and just see how they can handle it.
I take that back as Zucchero swings through. Apologies, 2016. They did have the second one forced on them. Wesleyan won that one.
Okay, well, this group.
Yeah, this group. This group has never had it happen before
yeah.
in this stretch here of 3 straight. So just to clarify, Zucchero strikes out. But
excellent pitch, great spin there from Stump to get that to just begin to spin away from the left-handed hitter.
Palestina, and she will check that one foul. So 0-1 the count here, and Megan Stump brought in relief for Kylie Burdick, and you can't ask for much more than what you've gotten from her so far. But they need 2 more outs, as they'll get a strike there.
Big swing and a miss. Looked like Stump took a little bit of speed off of there, and Palestina was out in front.
Stump without an earned run or a hit allowed so far since coming in. This is her 5th batter faced. The 1-2 doesn't get her to chase. 2-2.
And she's really done a great job since she entered the contest, beginning with a fly out to right or to center field with a runner at second, then the excellent dive and catch where we can still see the smudge in the chalk.
This one hit towards the shallow part of the outfield. Delaney Warnick is going to call everybody off and make that play. That is out number 2 here.
The Glenville State fans are really starting to feel it over there on that first base side. Whole lot of energy from over there. The UC fans kind of sitting still at the moment, holding their breath.
one final out here, and it's Taylor Hodson to try and start a rally for UC to win the championship here. Or if not, we go on to a second decisive final game, and that is strike one. Hodson is 1 for 3 today with a double and a run scored. Also drove in a run.
And that came in that inning where they were able to blow up for 3 runs and take a lead.
What a start to this at-bat for Megan Stump as she is working quickly and is out ahead 0-2 now.
Fans are on their feet.
And no, they're going to say she did not go around. The appeal down to third base, Brian Howard said no.
Coach Schoon was out of the dugout ready to go celebrate with Stump. Oh, she had to go back, and the look on her face just,
This one chopped over to first, and that will do it. Hannah Howe steps on the bag. Glenville State comes from behind, and they will force a decisive final game in this tournament. 4-3 your final score, and there is only one game left to be played.
Unbelievable performance from Glenville State. They came out to the early lead, pushed Addison Mass out of the game. Then it looked like Masters kind of had control, but then to come up clutch in the top of the 7th, Delaney Warnick, oh my gosh. I've talked about this even before getting this far, was that even if Glenville State does not win this championship, do you still name her tournament MVP? She has been absolutely incredible.
We believe, we don't have the numbers, but we believe this is going to go down as a historic performance one way or another for Delaney Warnick. The junior now, by the way, that was her 33rd career home run, tops in the history of Glenville State. Sneaking suspicion that record might not get tackled for a while, as she still has another year of eligibility to add on to that. But we're going to take a break. 30 minutes between the end of this game, which ended at 1:52. You can see Delaney Warnick home run here. I love the effort from Maya Hadaway, but we've seen that a couple of times. But so about 2:20-ish will be the start time. We'll come on about 5 minutes before the first pitch. So around 2:15 we'll be on. So join us then as we take a break here on the Mountain East Conference Sports Network. A decisive final game in the softball championship tournament between two teams who are both NCAA bound, but one will get the auto bid. The other will have to wait for the call on Monday. We're back in 25 minutes.